It's right here. Most important box in the shop, right there. Thank you, sir.
There, yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Here it is. SoCal Diesel. Here you are. SoCal Diesel. Stage 2 heads. LB7 Federal. In the box. Brand new. Pulling out. Go ahead. Go ahead. Open it up. You have more. Yeah. Wow. Wow. SoCal Diesel, CNC ported cylinder heads, AF cam. This is all the stuff they make.
That's all the stuff that you have.
A lot of it, right? Legit. Legit.
That's for surface. Holy cow. Yeah, that's nice. Big fat boy valves.
Yeah. Oversized valves. Yeah, the stage 2 heads are legit. Another look at the heads. Look at these exhaust ports. Look at that. Fully CNC ported port. With these pressed in 1/2 inch washers here. Part of the head studs. The beehive springs. Brand new, manly, oversized valves. It's legit, man. This is pretty much top of the line right here. Look at that. That is super badass. Super. Stoked. They're going on the engine tonight. Alright, here we go for our next update this week. We got the covers on, all on. Oil pan, rear cover, front cover, flex plate. We're on the SoCal flex plate here. This time we're switching over to the ERP bolts. We never ran those before. And this flex plate we've had on the car for some time. As you can tell, it has some wear and tear on it. Injection pump is in. I don't remember if that was in last time. That's a S&S 14mm pump. And in the front, water pump, balancer. Again, another SoCal piece there. And then our fancy one-piece RF garage oil pan. This is the first generation of our pans. We've actually evolved a little bit throughout the years. They look a little different now, today. But we're still running the original one here on the Chevelle. And then we upgraded our head studs to the 625 ERP studs. So those came in a couple days ago. We got head gaskets in today. And we got our cylinder heads in today. Check this out. These are the SoCal Diesel Stage 2 CNC ported LB7 Federal emission cylinder head. So if you look here, you can see all the port work done in the intake ports, the exhaust ports. It's 100% fully ported. This is their baddest head that they make, that they work on. It's manly oversized valves, and it has their beehive valve springs. Yeah. It just doesn't do this thing justice. A video. Seeing this thing in person is unbelievable. And this is a huge upgrade for us because we went from the California emissions head, bone stock, 200,000 mile head, original valves, original guides. We put seals on it and springs, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years ago. And we've been running that head ever since. So the fact that this is a federal head and now CNC ported is huge. huge. This is a huge shout out to SoCal Diesel and the parts that they make and the continued support that we get from them. You know, we have been a SoCal Diesel customer, partner, fan, friend for about 15 years now. So, and at the rate we're going, we're going to continue being that loyal person with them, partnership, whatever you want to call it, probably forever. There's some good people down there, and they produce the best product, the absolute best product out there for anybody to use and buy. So, huge. All right, let's put this thing on. All right, here we go. We're gonna start putting these heads on. At least this one to start with. Once it's on there, I'll show you guys the exhaust port. Show you what it looks like. I'm going to take this over here. Try not to mess this up, but if you look here, you can see the exhaust ports. They're all fully ported as well, just like the intake. Look at that. And these look nice. Hard to believe they're GM castings that are over 20 years old, potentially. That's ridiculous. Hard to believe, for sure. Okay, we got one head fully torqued. We're about to go into the second head and torque it down. I just wanted to record this on normal mode so you guys can see the process. Like I said earlier, these are the ERP 625 heads. So because of that, they you go up to 150 foot-pounds on the torque. So we do it in three waves or sequence, or however you want to call it, 3 steps. So we go up to, you just pick a number. So like 90, for instance, could be the first step, 120 the second step, and then the last step being 150. So that's what I'll set the torque wrench at. I'll start it at 90, and then we'll do all the bolts in the order they're supposed to be in, and then once they're done, then we'll up it to the next step, and then the final step. So there's a lot of pulls on the torque wrench to get to the 150 foot-pounds. wrench. Probably can't read it, but it says it on there, 150 foot-pounds, and it actually keeps track of how many we've done once we start a new number. So when we do this first one here, it'll track it. Let's say 1. So we just went to 150, and then on the gauge here, or on the torque wrench, there'll be a number that says number 1. Number 1. So then, if I know how many head bolts there are, I know I did them all. It's kind of cool that it tracks it, in case you forget or lose track of where you are. The heads are on. It's starting to look like a long block. This is a lot of work right here, but it's coming together. All the parts are rolling in, and it's looking good. This is exciting. Hopefully all these changes are in the right direction, and we have a good, fast, strong, powerful hot rod, you know, that we could get a lot of seasons out of and make a ton of power. We'll see. And we're still asking for a lot out of some stock stuff, right? Stock block, stock crank, but we're going for it. And a single pump, the single 14 mil. We're going to try it again as a single. I do have some parts to try to make a second CP3 on the engine. It's going to be non-traditional though, because where they normally sit up here by the power steering, it's not going to work in the Chevelle. We'd have to run no hood or cut a hole in the hood. So we have to be creative to run the dual CP3 in this combo. So we'll see.